It's Friday morning. I'm just checking whether everything's online. I'm looking for Facebook. I'm looking for YouTube. I'm looking for all the streaming platforms to get in line, including my Patreon platform. Good morning to you guys. We're going to have a cracking program. I hope, he says, on this Friday. Going live to Sweden this morning. It's all about England, actually. So it looks like everything's online. So it's time to get that countdown going. And in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Look forward to hearing from you guys, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching. I'll see you on the other side.
Five, four, three, two, 1, 0. All engine running.
All aboard!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Liftoff and the clock has started.
Four computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Good morning. Boker Tov. Good morning world. It's me, Rory, Alec. Whether you're in India, right across Asia, it's time to dust the sleep out the eyes. It's time to wake up and shine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Casting from the heart of Europe. It's me here in Austria. To you guys out there, a big God bless you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's time to celebrate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's right, Jesus is alive. He's on the throne.
Nice to be in orbit.
And he loves you this morning. The chickens are up, the rooster's crowing. It's time for Good Morning World. Good morning world. Me, Rory, Alec. Great to be with you this morning, guys. Welcome. Thank God it is Friday. Good morning, guys and girls, wherever you are tuning in to Good Morning World, morning, noon, or night. Whether it's live or re-live, by the way. I love digital. I mean, you can watch when you want to watch. So I know some of you, ladies and gentlemen, are watching on the west coast of America, Seattle, San Diego, etc., etc. Some of you are in Thailand. We had Ed Hart from Thailand yesterday joining us. Wherever you're watching, let me know. Give me a quick shout out, comment. Hey, Rory, this is the weather. Last night we had a cracking thunderstorm here. The most wild, violent one that we had. Very short, very intense. So I ran upstairs in the middle of the night, unplugged everything here in the Mustard Seed Studios, thinking, dear Jesus, please don't send one of those shafts of light all the way down here and fry the equipment. Because today's a big day. It's Friday. It's the end of a week for me. Thank God. And we're going to concentrate on music. We're going to concentrate on fish skins being turned into leather. I know, freaky, right? Fish and chips would be better, I think. But anyway, hey, they're turning fish skins into leather. We're going to find out more about that. I've got a guest live with me. Very famous. At least he was an extremely important man in my world for at least, my goodness me, 18, 19 years. I've lost count of years. But he's joining me live this morning, all the way from Gothenburg, Sweden. Now, Steve Cunningham is actually one of England's finest sound engineers. And I thought, let me have him on the program today. We can talk about football and what's coming up, and we can concentrate on what Steve's also up to. Based in Newcastle-upon-Tyne, we're going to meet Boom Chang Records and what's cooking in the kitchen. You guys and girls are going to see men and women singing, amazing musicians and singers performing in Steve's kitchen, Nochal. So that's going to be fun. We're going to talk about that as well. And London, England. Will England beat Italy and break a 55-year no-win streak this coming Sunday? At least that's what I understand. It's a big deal. Even for me here in the heart of Europe, in Austria, to know what's going to be happening on this Sunday. Will Italy win? Will England win? I'm also going to ask Steve what he thinks, what the fever is, what's the temperature like in England, even though he's live with me this morning on Good Morning World, all the way from Sweden. We celebrate birthdays today, as usual. If it's your birthday and you're my Facebook friend, we're going to give you a good shout out this morning. And as I said, we're going to kick off this morning's program with how do they turn fish skins into leather? Come on, let's find out on this Good Morning World. And by the way, look forward to hearing from you.
Good morning, world.
Que les peaux de poisson aujourd'hui ne sont pas valorisées, ne sont pas utilisées, sont toutes jetées à la poubelle. Nous, notre métier, c'est donner une seconde vie à ce matériau en les transformant d'une peau classique en un cuir pour des produits de luxe type bracelet de montre, maroquinerie, prêt-à-porter, chaussures. Proprement parler, le cuir de saumon, le squama, va avoir des propriétés qui lui sont propres, une souplesse, une finesse. Ça fait moins d'un demi-millimètre d'épaisseur pour une résistance quasiment équivalente à un cuir bovin. C'est juste impressionnant. Aujourd'hui, c'est le rôle de notre génération de vraiment construire le monde dans lequel on veut évoluer, on veut grandir, qu'on veut laisser à nos enfants. Donc je pense que cette logique de recyclage, de réutiliser une ressource qui aujourd'hui est inexploitée et qui n'est pas une nouvelle ressource à aller épuiser sur Terre, c'est la base de tout prochain bon projet de production.
Good morning, morning, morning.
It is Friday, the 9th of July, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine biodegradable plastics that are made out of algae and fish parts? Leather's made out of fish skin. I'm still at fish and chips, but I am grateful for all of this new technology where it can be sustainable. We're dealing with conservation. We're protecting nature. We're making useful goods that come from parts that have traditionally been thrown away by most of the fishing industry. So it is fascinating stuff. Today we're concentrating on England. We're going to talk football because I think a lot of people on planet Earth are talking football right now as we come up to the final on this Sunday. And I've got Steve Cunningham in a few minutes joining me live from Sweden. He is English, very English, mind you, from the northeast of England. So we'll get a good taste of his excellent accent. I'm looking forward to having him on the program in a few moments. But first, ladies and gentlemen, it's birthday time. It's birthday time. John Bell, happy birthday. I'm catching myself out on this Friday morning. We're going to do a double banger here. We're going to do Friday and Saturday. Deborah Lucero, happy birthday. Peter Helms, it is Friday the 9th of July. Happy birthday, Peter. And Cohensin Illingworth, happy birthday. Christy Adkins Flood, happy birthday, Christy. Ronnie Robinson, happy birthday, Ronnie. Sharon K. Newman, Rachel and Jerry Gotts, happy birthday, Rachel. Jenny Parks, Friday the 9th, it's happy birthday time, Jenny. And Terrence Porter, Stephen B. Wheeler, Dean Clark, and Hugo E. Peterson. All of you, ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday on this Friday the 9th. My cousin Megan, all the way in South Africa, Megan Reynolds Park, happy birthday, dear Megan. I pray you're well and you're going to have a wonderful time. And then we're going to move on to Saturday. Mike Barrett, happy birthday for tomorrow. I know it's Friday today, but we're wishing you birthday for this weekend. Teresa Marlin, happy birthday. Rick Baptiste, happy birthday, Rick. I'm sure you're not French, but you sound like you've got a French surname. Ruth Ramirez, happy birthday, dear Ruth. Kelly Watts Hawley, happy birthday, Kelly. Will Robertson, Owen Ward Sr., happy birthday to both of you, Will and Owen. And then Greg Rayleigh, Bo Salisbury, John Gavin, happy birthday to all three of you gentlemen. And Owen Ward Sr., you've already got a shout out, but hey, why not? It's Saturday the 10th, it's your birthday for tomorrow. Happy birthday. Finishing up with Jean Neal, Ezekiel D. Chosen. Ezekiel, I like your D. Chosen surname. Very interesting. Listen, you're all special, you're all chosen. And thank you for being my Facebook friend. Thanks for hanging out with us. And I wish you, with the Good Morning World community, a wonderful, wonderful birthday. Whether it's today, Friday, or whether it's tomorrow, Saturday, I pray you have a wonderful time with your loved ones, your friends, all of your family as we celebrate the day you came to Earth. Well, let's get to Sweden, I think.
Good morning, world.
Joining Steve Cunningham all the way in Sweden. Good morning to you, dear Steve.
Good morning, Rory. How we doing?
We're doing good. I appreciate you being on the program. It's actually quite surreal. Normally, I'm in front of the camera, at least for many of the times, and you've always been, for many years, behind the camera, managing the sound, putting everything together. Whether it's been crazy places like going up Kilimanjaro, almost, he says, almost. I almost went. I didn't. Some of the team did, but I didn't. Or whether we were live in Israel, in the heart of Jerusalem, in the ancient city, and we had, my goodness me, shofars everywhere. You were the magic for the sound behind it all, Steve. So I appreciate you joining me on this program. Today we're guest and presenter.
Fabulous. Looking forward to it.
What you doing in Sweden?
So I'm out here on a 35-day conference where we go live every night, and we've got 102 preachers come in, a multitude of musicians and music. So it's music and preach and teaching, and people sharing vision and also talking about their testimonies in life. And it's going out across all of the platforms. It's on satellite with Vision Sparia, and that's what I'm doing out here at the minute. So I think we're into sort of day 7 or day 8 of 35. But
I think you've got a bit of a marathon there, huh?
Oh yeah, it is. But we have a great team, and it's a small team. You talked about the stuff we did in the past. Sometimes some of the broadcasts could be 15, 20 people on crew. This is a minimum of 2 or 3 now, and as you mentioned earlier, technology's changed so much that I'm coming to you via a mobile phone. So there we go.
And you're looking pretty good for a man who's traveling by a mobile phone. You're in this. You're in the city of Göteborg. Have I said it correctly?
Yeah, you have. Yeah, I'm in Gothenburg, but I'm stopping on the outskirts of a place called Kungsglav. I mean, my pronunciation of Swinglish is really bad, but so I'm on the outskirts. I'm in a hotel in a nice little river, so it's quite relaxing, which is what we need when you work in these long hours,
Somewhere to relax. Yeah. So let's take the viewers of Good Morning World, because some of them know you and I and GODTV and all of that, because you worked and we served together in GODTV as I was leading the ministry there for many years, from the kitchen table basically until 2014. But let's just take a quick 2 minutes. What give me your recollections from your perspective. What were some of the craziest things, or the most dangerous things, or the most weird things, or got up to?
So I think, it started off, I came into the Vision when it was sort of, you'd moved to the northeast of England and taken over a studio that I used to rent for my own productions, actually, that you took in and took over the whole place, which was amazing to see it fully utilised. Obviously, building studios around the world in Washington, D.C., in Israel, travelling to India, where we were documenting Benny Hinn's crusade. You know, me and you went on our own and we picked up local Indian crew. And for a lad from the northeast of England to try and coordinate Indian crew, who I've got to say are absolutely amazing people. You know, it was just amazing to hang out. And then to take water drilling trucks from India into Kenya, Africa, do the water drilling projects and document that was absolutely outstanding. You know, I loved that. To see people who used to have to walk 5-6 miles a day to get dirty water, and yet it was 150 feet below them. So to actually bring that sort of thing, I think it was just amazing what we did. And obviously almost dying in near the Cummingham Caves was interesting.
Yes, you could talk about that infamous, what was it, 3 kilometers, or maybe it was even 7-kilometer valley of death. It was cliff walls on either side. We got ourselves locked up. We were walking from the Dead Sea up to Jerusalem. My goodness me, Steve, I apologize for that because I nearly got us all killed on that one.
It was an interesting one, and I remember, I think the medic that we had with us turned to you and said, "Take them jeans off you, boiling your proteins or something." It was like, okay. Yeah, we went a little bit unprepared. It was a 16-kilometer walk, I believe, and 16 being the figure that's been sort of stamped into my brain and the recollection of it. I mean, it was amazing. You know, you're Christian, Graham and Dan got me through because everyone thought, well, Steve's going to be the strongest at this, and actually, I was the weakest. And it hit a point for me where I thought, wow, is this where the days end, you know? But it didn't. And I remember speaking to the guy and saying, listen, you've been saying it's 10 more minutes for 3 hours. And I'm saying...
That was the Israeli psychology, right?
You've got to come clean with this because, you know, my head's done it. And then we'd run out of water, of course. 50-degree heat, no water. And then he said to me, okay, there's going to be 3 left turns, 3 right turns, and you'll make it. It's 20 minutes. I went, great, thanks for the honesty, let's do it. So 3 left turns came, 3 right turns came. I can't see a base camp, I can't see anything. I says, where's the camp? And he went, oh, it's just at the top of that mountain hill thing there. It's like, but it was good, you know, we got out of it. We did the praying in the Bedouin camp. And that actual walk from the Dead Sea to Jerusalem, I mean, it was incredible. But conquer your mountains, I mean,
it was crazy. It was, but we got some amazing programming. I don't think people realized how. I mean, we shared it afterwards, of course. But do you remember that night at the end of that day when we got into that tent and we all just collapsed? We were sleeping up in the Judean desert, and we were. I remember falling in love with pickles, Steve, because of the salt in.
Oh wow!
Just my face was caked with salt. I don't know if you guys. It was crazy.
Well. Mine was caked with sugar because the medic had carried a bag of sweets that he was meant to dish out on the run, which we never seen. But because of the 50-degree heat, it was just one big bag of mulchy sugar. And I just remember getting a glass of water, putting my hand in and like just going, oh, sugar. It's like, but hey, it was amazing times. We lived to tell the tale. And,
yeah, we did.
You know, and I think a lot of people got touched by the sort of programs that were made because, you know, one thing we would question ourselves, why are we doing this? 18-hour days, long times, and then you'll get a testimony that comes through that somebody's life had changed, somebody wasn't going to commit suicide, somebody was able to get off drugs, and you suddenly realise, wow, that's why we're doing it. You know, that connection, you don't know who's actually watching.
Yeah.
And that's the importance of this thing. And I think the 19 years actually I was at GOTTV, people used to say, oh, you have an amazing life travelling around the world. Yeah, we did. And I think if I put it in comparison for me to go and work for the BBC, I wouldn't have done a tenth of what we did at GOTTV. You know, the crew that we had were able to go and build studios. And you weren't just a sound guy who turned up with a boom mic and a couple of mics. You know, we were doing like big productions and arenas and stuff like that. So it was very diverse. Amazing, really, what we did. So.
You know, and at this point, I would give a shout out, even though I had to step down from God TV because of my circumstances. But I have to give a big shout out to the partners of God TV, and many of them watch Good Morning World. And by the way, if you're joining, I'm talking with Steve Cunningham. We're going to be focusing on music today. We're going to be talking about football as well. We're having a good chinwag. He's in Gothenburg, Sweden, doing a project, but I want to say you're a Geordie lad, but I mean, I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. I might be getting it completely wrong, even though, because I'm still South African, even though I'm British. I mean, you come from Newcastle originally, right?
Yeah, I come from Newcastle, and the north of the Tyne. So I do have a Geordie accent, but it's with travelling over all the years. Like my previous years before GOTTV, I was a musician who travelled around the globe, and studio musician and studio producer of audio and things. And yeah, the accents maybe changed just a little bit so people can actually understand us. Because if me and Gavin have a conversation, it'll almost be like we're speaking in tongues. Because a lot of people just don't get the dialect, you know.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, especially when you guys get all excited or excitable. You know, then you click into a whole different dialect, and then everyone else stands there looking at you. Steve Cunningham is with me. I want to talk a little bit about COVID and how that's impacted you, but let's have a look at this first.
Say ho!
Nothing to do but watch nature grow as I look at the world out of my window. There's only so long I can stare at the tree without feeling like they're staring back at me. Every single human is holding on. The planet's on pause and the noise is gone. When we all get out, get away, I'm gonna make some changes to my day-to-day, day-to-day. Sitting in my room, nothing much to do. Things that just going around my mind. Think about tomorrow, know what to do. Things to make a change in my life. Say oh.
I need a beat.
Maybe I'm happy with where I've been, the people that I've met and the things that I've seen. But changes are as good as a rest, it seems. And when I'm free, I'm gonna chase my dreams. Chase my dreams. Chase my dreams. Chase my dreams.
Good morning, world.
Steve, my camera has gone black, so you're on your own, brother. But you can hear me still, right?
Yeah, I can definitely hear you. That's great, man.
My Wi-Fi is playing up. Hopefully it'll come back in a few moments.
Okay.
Steve Cunningham is with me. I'm on the black screen. You can see my name. You can hear my voice. And he is the one who's talking. So, Steve, COVID-19 impacted all of us profoundly in many ways. What was it like in England for you guys?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shock, actually, to see how it affected a lot of people. You know, once you've seen people walking down the streets with 450,000 toilet rolls, 56 packets of pasta. I mean, one of the things that shocked us is how people just went, we've got to protect ourselves. We've got to like stash up everything we've got because we don't know. Nobody had an idea how this thing was going to unfold. Rules were changing on a weekly basis as the government was trying to get a hold of the concept of what to do with it and how to manage it. You know, for me, we managed to stay at home. We were fine. You know, we actually got an amazing time of hanging out together, which, because I travelled so much, it was probably the longest time in 30 odd years of marriage that I'd been at home. So that was quite amazing for us. And yeah, I mean, it was devastating to see how lives were being changed. but sometimes it was for the better, and we don't really know what is going to unfold for the future. And day by day we see different things happening. But for me, I was in a position where I could just hang out with the family and spend some time making some music, and sort of dedicate a bit of time to that. And we had the family. The mother-in-law lived in with us. She's still very elderly. So for us, it was a time of uniting the family, actually, in our little bubble, as it was. And it brought a lot of pressure on people, and then some people were like, oh, I can work from home, and then suddenly realized the discipline that's required to work from home. It's, some people need to go to offices.
Yeah. I've still lost my camera, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. This is the first time in Good Morning World I seem to have lost it, so I will do my best to get it back. I'm talking with Steve Cunningham. It is Friday the 9th. I've become radio, and here's my video. Did that prompt the whole cooking in the kitchen thing? Is that what came out of it, Steve?
No, it wasn't. Cooking in the Kitchen had run probably about 3 or 4 years prior to that. And because when I was traveling a lot with you, when I came home, I didn't want to keep going to the office every day, so I built a post-production studio in my house, which then turned into a music studio, and I had a few friends come round. We started making music in the kitchen. As I told you earlier in the conversation, the cables used to come down the stairs through the door into the kitchen. Pauline very kindly allowed me to put an infrastructure in the kitchen where I could put audio, video, and network cables. So it's all neat and tidy now. And what happened with that was I was sitting one day and we were recording some music, and a couple of my friends were just having a coffee, and the stories that were coming out, I'm thinking, this is just too good to not capture it and try and televise it. So we had a couple of cameras, a little GoPro and a stills camera that we made some video on. And we started shooting some stuff as a pilot. And I stuck it up on the internet, sent it to some TV friends. I said, look at this as a pilot. What do you think of the concept? And they were saying, yeah, it's really good. And one guy turned around from a TV station, which was networked actually. He said, give me 6. I was like, 6, okay. So start ringing around some people. Do you fancy being on this show? And this is the concept. You come in, you do some live recorded music, and
let me interrupt you. Let me show. I put a little piece together here, and then we'll talk about it, because it's, guys and girls, this is amazing. Really, what you can do, and I think this is the new age we're living in from a media perspective, is that nothing is impossible. And I mean, you can, as you see, Steve's talking to me from Sweden on this Friday morning, the 9th of July. He is literally doing it through his iPhone, and so we are literally able to connect up and do amazing things. And I want to show you this. This is so fun.
2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome to Cooking in the Kitchen with Boom Chang Records, DC, coast to coast. Today, fantastic band, as they always are. We've got Bella Fagora in today.
Fall asleep, but I fall from grace. Now I wonder where you are tonight. 'Cause when I said I didn't love you,
Now, are you boys Italian?
I'm afraid not.
Yeah.
The name is
It's a great
misleading.
name. How did the name come about?
We've got a bit of a story about it, which me and Mike were at a party, and it kicked off.
Sometimes I prefer to smile, but it never seems to reach you. All you can see was her. Watching you losing your love, watching you losing your mind. Don't dance with her.
Where are you up to with recording and writing? How many songs have you got? And tell me a little bit about that.
We got like a set of 7 songs when we play in London.
Yeah.
And actually we got like 10 to 15 songs. That we're trying to make it better and better with the old band, because we like to record an LP soon.
Yeah, okay.
So
we also have a song, and has been mixed by Liam Nolan,
okay.
and is the sound engineer from Adele.
Okay.
Yeah, from
And it just
Hello.
makes the hello.
Oh,
And,
brilliant.
We are really proud.
Which is
about
next
that.
single. So
That's your next single.
Yeah.
Excellent. Playing as one of the originals.
Yes, this one's Crazy Love and it could have been straight out the charts in 1958.
Hey, I'm going to look forward to listening to that one. Take it away when you're ready.
1, 2, 3. I got my blue jeans on. My work is all done. Nothing hold me down. Gonna have a lot of fun. Gonna make it, gonna take it. Dancing till the break of dawn. I've been a missing you, baby, Lord.
Baby, I wish that I could take this world off your mind. Baby, I wish that I could take this world off your mind. I am numb when I sing my strange blues. I make it on the local news.
And I'll still come back for more. But I can wait to be back where I belong. No time to waste. The car is packed, so let's get going. I can wait to go to the local every day. I've loved my time away from here, but now it's time to stay.
Good morning, world.
Friday the 9th, we are live. If you've got to get to work, hang out for a few more minutes. I'm talking to Sweden, to a lovely English gentleman there. We're going to be talking about football in a few moments, get his take on what's going to happen this Sunday. Steve, these are amazing musicians, guys and girls. It's extraordinary what happened in your kitchen. I mean, I'm surprised Pauline was so gracious. Did you give them breakfast every morning?
Yeah, I mean, the deal was if Pauline was in the house, the guys got a great breakfast. If I was in the house, they got a cup of tea and a biscuit. But, sometimes they got lucky. No, it was amazing, really. I loved it so much. It was a Saturday morning thing. It'd take us 3 to 4 hours to do it. There was a couple of times where we tapped into a thing where, some of the bands who played there were on a 28-day tour through a university coffee shop circuit. And I think they're called the Coffee House Sessions. And on a Thursday night, they would be having a night off, travelling up to Scotland. And Dave, who was one of the camera guy editors, said, look, why don't we do a Thursday night with these guys? And we managed to get some amazing bands who were just passing through town, who would turn up at the house.
Yeah.
I mean, Pauline walked in once and, there was the crew and everything were just sprawled out all over the sitting room, which was fine for me. That's my lifestyle, musician stuff. I was used to it.
She was horrified.
Like, yeah, I just wished I'd done something, anyway, but it was fine, very patient. She was to let us do that. And but to connect with all these musicians who have a similar path, have a similar lifestyle, to hear the stories. I mean, there's a couple of Italian guys on there, actually, who are fantastic from Rome.
Yeah, the Step.
One of the killer questions. Step, yeah. I mean, one of the killer questions to them is like Roma or Lazio,
Yeah.
And that's going to divide the conversation because we're moving into football now, as you were saying before.
Yeah.
Sunday is going to be a challenge for me. Pauline's half Italian, and her side's going to be divided. Well, mine's not. I know I'm full England all the way through, and 55 years of no success to get into the final. It's I just feel we're going to do this, and
yeah,
the whole thing about go on.
No, go ahead. No, you're getting to the interesting part. Everyone's figuring out, everyone who loves football and in this northern hemisphere, perhaps. I mean, I know you guys in the US might not be that excited about it or might not be into football that much, but I tell you, it's a big thing in the UK right now. I mean, this with the whole Brexit thing, Steve, and the whole COVID dynamic that's gone on, I'm sure that this football is a big thing for the morale. I mean, sport and music, these are two key things that from a soul perspective for us as human beings, it's a vital energy.
Yeah. When I was starting out with GODTV, I used to go out and there's a Money Matters program we used to do down in London. And every time I travelled, I was new to the sort of, born again Christian world, if you want to call it that. And everywhere I went, people say, "Oh, what church did you go to?" I was quite embarrassed. I didn't go to a church. I'd left church when I was 15. It was just not comfortable for me. I wanted to follow my path of music. I still had a connection with Christ, though, I must say, because I carried a crucifix in my bass case all around the world.
Amazing.
And I got into a position one day where I felt, I've got to say something to these people. And he said, "What church you go to?" I said, "Oh, I go to the biggest church in Newcastle. 50,000 people go there, The guy's going, "Mega church in England, never heard of that." "Oh, yeah. Every other week we have the most amazing fellowship. We sing our hearts out." And he said, "Where's it?" I went, "It's the Church of St. James." He says, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's the football ground." And the thing is, he kind of laughed. He didn't really sort of take it on board. But the thing is,
probably
it
too
was
religious
fellowship.
to figure that one out.
Yeah, it was fellowship. It was church. But I took Pauline once, right? And was sitting up there, and Pauline turned to me and she said, "Can you hear what them guys are singing? They're singing to the football players, 'We love you.' I bet they don't even say that to their wives." And football, and certainly in the Northeast, there's only 3 big clubs in the Northeast, really. There's a lot of football clubs, a lot of amazing football clubs, but 3 big ones are well supported. And that's how people get out of their, sometimes what they class as mundane life, to go to a game, although they haven't done it in the last year, obviously, but to go to a game,
Yeah.
have the frustrations of that game when it's good, bad, or indifferent. And when Newcastle was at its fine points, when we had, Shiro was on his peak and we had Keegan back, and that particular period, this didn't matter the weather, the people were still just smiling all the time. And I don't know if they knew it subconsciously, but when it's good, it really uplifts the city. And we've definitely seen it coming out of COVID for England fans, where it's like a relief. We're managing to achieve something, and it's like it definitely brings a smile to people's faces. And so that's what the sport is. Combine that with music, it's just a wonderful life to fulfill people's emptiness sometimes, It sounds a bit deep,
absolutely, Steve.
For a Friday morning.
For a Friday morning. Listen, I love it. I'm talking with Steve Cunningham. Steve, I thank you for your time. I know you're fighting the flies there. It's sweltering hot in Sweden. It looks like you're scorched under the sun there. We're having a heat wave here, by the way, Steve, in Austria. So when you do come and visit, pick a time when it's not so hot, because we're hitting 34, 35, 37 degrees Celsius here, which actually I'm not complaining about, because it's nice to have a little bit of warmth here after the snowy winter. Steve, thanks for hanging out with me. All of the best for Cooking in the Kitchen. All of the best for Boom Chang Records. And I look forward to giving you a big hug as soon as you can get to Vienna or I come to the UK. It has been lovely having you with me on the program.
Thank you. It's been great, man. It's great to hang out.
Oh, wonderful. And I'm going to finish, Steve, with something that I kind of feel it's a soulish thought for the day. So spirit, soul, body. Today we're focusing on the soul. And this is when Charlie was in your kitchen with his band and they were singing a song, "This Life Is Mine." Steve, thanks for hanging out with me. And here's Charlie in Steve's kitchen.
This day is mine. It's mine to live without rules to bind me. I can close every door so no one can find me. Or I can open me heart and see love come and blind me. But one thing I know is this day is mine. As I live out my life, some lessons I've learned. If you jump in the fire, you're bound to get burned. I could see I was pushed in, but I was to blame. I was drawn to the light and the dance of the flame. I was easily led, both me heart and me head. I believed every word that those dream pushers said, but nobody told me the truth about lies, how they hide in the words, but they live in the eyes. This life is mine. From a lullaby kiss and my first awakening. It's a life I will miss when it's time for the taking, which is why every day must be mine for the making. One thing I know is, one thing I know is, this life is mine.
Good morning, morning, morning.
Let's thank God it's Friday. Let's thank God for the lives that we have, and let's live our lives courageously is my encouragement to you. And remember, He loves you. He believes in you, even if you might not believe in Him. My encouragement to you on Good Morning World is seek Him out. You'll be amazed who you find. Football coming up on Sunday. My thanks to Steve Cunningham for joining me all the way from Sweden, and I'm sure he's going to be watching that game on Sunday. Wisely picked to be in Sweden while his half-Italian wife, Pauline, is safely in Newcastle-upon-Tyne. So, me personally, England, I'm rooting for you, okay? I know I've got some Italian friends just around the corner here, but I think it's going to be a cracking match. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out with me on Good Morning World. I hope you've been encouraged. I most certainly have. I'll be back again on Monday morning in some form. Things are changing up here this summer on Good Morning World. Until then. Love to hear from you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that little bell notification at the bottom. Every time we post something, you'll be getting it. To all my patrons, thank you so much for your support, guys. Without you, until tomorrow morning, lots of love, keep smiling, keep shining. From me, Rory, Alec.
Welcome home. Beautiful, beautiful.
Good morning, morning, morning.